I'm Jamie, and I'm going to be demonstrating some multiplanar movement patterns. The first movement is abduction and adduction of the shoulder joint. So this is a movement that happens in the frontal plane along a sagittal or antero-posterior axis. The arms move away from the midline is abduction, and we bring them back towards the midline is adduction. I'm going to show this movement with that snatch pull. So at the top of the snatch pull, the shoulder joint is going to be abducted, and on the way down it will be adducted. Movement is lateral flexion of the lumbar spine. It's also done in the frontal plane along a sagittal or antero-posterior axis. So the movement is a side-to-side movement of the spine. I'm going to show it with a hammer swing, and you'll see on the downswing the spine flexes and rotates. Protraction and retraction of the shoulder girdle. This movement happens in the transverse plane along a longitudinal axis. I'm going to demonstrate this with a pull-up. You'll see on the pull-up, the scapula will rotate inwards towards the spine. This is retraction, and on the way down, the scapula will rotate outwards. That's protraction. Medial and lateral rotation of the hip. This movement occurs in the transverse plane along a longitudinal axis. I'm going to show this with a Cossack squat. So on the way down, there's lateral rotation of the hip, and on the way up, there's medial rotation. Lateral rotation, medial rotation. Flexion and extension of the knee joint. This movement happens in the sagittal plane along a frontal or medial-lateral axis. I'm going to show this movement with a split jerk. So I'm going to dip and then fully extend the knees and split. For the second part of my video assignment, I'm going to explain Tensegrity with the structure that I've made. So I made it out of pencils that will represent the bones in the body and elastic bands that will represent the muscle and the fascia. So the bones will bear the weight of the body, whereas the fascia will provide a tensional network to hold everything together. As you can see, none of the pencils are touching one another, just as in the body, none of the bones are touching one another. They're not sitting one on top of another. So the strength of the system comes from a combination of the compressional forces of the bones and the tensional force created by the fascia and the muscles. The fascia and the muscles will suspend the bones, and they form a continuous tensional network, which means that movement in one part of the system will cause movement in the entire system. It's not isolated to just that part. So if I were to pinch two of these together, you can see that the entire structure will move to accommodate this. Also, if I were to create an imbalance here, you can see that it creates imbalance in the entire structure. So in the body, that could mean an injury or a postural fault that starts in one area and it creates imbalance in the entire system. So that concludes my demonstration of biotensegrity. Thanks for watching.